morning. The President are Commissioner Cuella, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself, we have a quorum. First item is item number 2, our Emergency Services Division, Mr. Chief Ricardo Saldaña.
Judge, good morning. Commissioners, good morning. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what we've had so far since this event started on May 11th, the late hours of May 11th to May the 12th, and then the event from May 15th, and what we're expecting for the rest of the Memorial Day. As of then, the weather, potential flooding through Monday night and into Tuesday, May 26th, possible threat for high winds ranging from 60 to 70 miles an hour and hails from quarter size to half dollar size. We determined possible renegade storms that develop the damaging wind similar to what occurred in the Ed Couch, Elsa area and Donna area. There's one significant change. If you all saw the weather report this morning, they were saying the most impacted area for Hidalgo County was going to be Sunday into Monday. Prior to coming into the meeting this morning, we got a phone call from the National Weather Service that has been changed from Saturday into Sunday. So that forecast has changed. Again, no more Sunday into Monday, it's from Saturday into Sunday. That's the most impacted areas that we're expecting for weather conditions. Pumping operations, Rio Grande Surface pumping operations continue. A trench built to continue with the flow of water with that 12-inch pump. Water has decreased, but we still have some water. Seminary Road pumping operations continue, significant decrease. Phase build, the majority of the water has been drained. They're still working on some of the areas on the west side of the 281. We're pre-staging pumps at the Precinct 4 location on M Road. Currently, we have a 12-inch pump in place at the location. We have an 8-inch pump at the location, and we're waiting for a 6-inch pump to be delivered this afternoon to have there. We have a water truck that was brought in by the city of McAllen that is assisting Precinct 4 staff up in the area of Becky Lane, which is south of, on the west side of Fayetteville. They're currently working there. Our shelter had been open since Wednesday of last week. We had a family of 13 staying there until yesterday. Yesterday the shelter was closed. It has been left on standby depending on what happens for over the weekend. We have had multiple non-profit organizations assist us with some of the repairs to some of these families. Family was relocated by Catholic Charities to a hotel on the completion of repair of that home. The shelter is available to us from the Catholic Church, St. Joseph, the World Catholic Church in San Carlos through May 21st, if need be. Sheriff's office has been very, very good about standing by the 24 hours. And they're constantly going to buy the shelter, and they're going to continue patrolling the area while we have equipment there at the shelter area. Disaster summary outline information is in process of being gathered. Preliminary outline is scheduled to be submitted by this afternoon to the state. So we're hoping to get some true numbers to the state no later than 3 p.m. submitted to them. We're working very diligently with Mr. John Olaya from the Texas Department of Public Safety, our regional liaison officer. He's been embedded at our temporary EOC there at the county judge's office, and we're working diligently with that. And I want to thank the precincts for cooperating with us and working with us on this. The debris removal contract will be discussed later in the agenda, and services will not be utilized if we do, commissioners agree to enact the deal without the consent and approval of Mr. Guerra here and myself and the county judge. Multiple agencies coordinating with us, Precinct 1, 2, 3, have assisted Precinct 4 with equipment and manpower during the duration of this event. The district coordinator, John Olaya, has been with us and assisting us. American Red Cross, Salvation Army, Rio Grande Food Bank, Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo Community Service Agency, Texas Baptist Men, and Catholic Charities and Hearts for Kids have all been involved during the duration of this event. Current pumping operations are North Civil Road 21, Jackson Road, and Rio Grande Citrus Lane, Latin Estates, Becky Lane, Ember, Bandera Lane, and Tower, Terry Road, Caballo Lane, Las Paz, and Alamo Road. Those are the current operations that are going out that we got this morning from precinct 4. We're constantly working there. As you can see, I handed out some photos of the areas that were impacted with wind and water damage. The majority of it is been in the northern portion of our county, which is part of precinct 3, 4, the most impacted was precinct 4 and part of precinct 1. Do you have any questions on the pictures or the outline that I have given you?
Just a comment. For the general public, we didn't have a failure in our systems. What we had was a 100-year rain event. That is what we experienced this last few months. We registered in 2 different rain events, a total of over close to 20-some-odd inches
Over 20 inches.
in certain areas. So what we have is water, ponding water in low-lying areas. And we got a good handle on all the operations in all the areas. We see progress every single day. Obviously, we're at the mercy of the weather, and so we're going to remain 24/7. We're going to continue. We've been on a 7-day schedule. We haven't stopped with all the crews that you've sent us, but we were fortunate to fly a drone, a courtesy of an engineer who provided his drone to get some footage. If some of you, I want to thank Channel 5 for running that footage, but it's hard to see really the impact, and some of these pictures give some justice. Yesterday when we saw the footage of the drone, it really gives a massive, you can see thousands of acres just saturated and ponded. But we've had a positive effect on all of our pumping operations, and we appreciate all the help that we've been given by all of the different precincts and different agencies that have stepped up. I just want to give a comment. But there was no, in fact, no failure of any system whatsoever. This is merely a 100-year event that we hope we never experienced, but we just experienced it. And we reacted as prudent as we could.
I know that, well, the reason we're here is because I entered an order declaring the county a disaster area, but at your request, Chief, as your capacity as emergency management coordinator and the director of our health department, Mr. Eddie Olivares, I went ahead and did that, but so we can define the area. We're talking about a certain area within our county, and that would be in the precinct, County Commissioner Precinct 4 area.
He's been the most significantly impacted, basically everything north of 1925, correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner.
Correct.
And portions of precinct.
We got more wind damage than rain. I know precinct 4 got bombarded with rain, but we got some flooding, not very much, and luckily we didn't get that much. But our wind damage, we had a lot of tremendous wind damage.
Which has been documented there.
And I know the precinct 4 has been doing a good job, and we're there to assist anything that we can. And I know all the precincts are participating with precinct 4, and we're there, just a phone call away. So anything y'all need, we'll be ready to.
And this enables us then, am I correct, enables us to request assistance from the state government?
Not till we exhaust all the resources with our local partners. Reach out to the other precincts, reach out to all the local governments, which they have already started bringing us some supplies over to the precinct 4 yard to have on standby, reposition, should we need them this weekend to help Commissioner Palacios and his staff.
Well, we need to express gratitude to these local partners.
Yes, sir.
And again, that would be the other 3 commissioners.
The 3 commissioners, the City of Cal, City of Mission, City of San Juan, and we've already put out a complete blast to everybody else for assistance.
All right. At the end of the day, make sure we send them some kind of expression of gratitude to all these different cities where they're involved in their assistance.
We will, sir.
And you're asking now to continue this declaration of a state of disaster, a local state of disaster under Texas Government Code Section 418.108.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Move for approval.
Second.
Were you going to be, is there a need to read anything in the order into the record?
All we need is your approval. We have it here for you.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Judge, may I ask a question? And this goes down to the simple right of, during this declaration. In the beginning onsets of the storms, we had been very restricted into entering into private property. Does this allow us to enter into private property, whether it's the removal of debris, whether it's to set a pump to alleviate some of the flood waters that are impacting some of the home site? What authority do we have with this declaration, just for clarification?
Also spraying on the mosquitoes, we've had a lot of phone calls on that, they've been, attacked by mosquitoes, so.
Well, and I want to make sure, because the general public believes that we can enter without cause. They wonder why we can't step into private property. And I've always been told that we cannot, and I know there's certain restrictions we have under normal courses, but under a declaration, I think it's important to just identify what we can and cannot do.
Under the
Why
declaration,
don't we ask our lawyer, Vince?
yeah,
All right.
and correct me if I'm wrong. Under the declaration, due to the majority of the fact, other than the standing water and the health issues, we're allowed to go to private property and remove that because it's going to become a bigger health issue if we don't take care of the problem. The accumulation of mosquitoes. Now that that has been identified, what's that particular mosquito, Eddie?
Three primary mosquitoes.
Eddie, if you would help me, please. Plus the brown water that has been transpired because of the septic systems. Go ahead.
I think, Judge Commissioner, the main things, I put a letter or a memo went to the judge, Mr. Gela and Chief Saldana. In regards to the concern, one is we got a primary concern. My biggest concern is the septic systems and the breakdown of the sewage system in those rural areas. We have areas that some of that flood water may be contaminated with not only sewage, but there's pesticides, insecticides from the agriculture community, and there's other types of petroleum-based chemicals that may be part of that. The other concern is that those areas and those residents, those systems have collapsed, and to get them operational again, the families are going to have to reevaluate that once the flooding is remediated or once it dries out. So that's going to have to be looked at again. So that's a huge issue for us.
Well, and I'm going to tell you right now, none of their utility, they can't use any of their.
Right.
And so what's happening is those areas are septic systems. They're already capped out. They've already come over.
They're backloaded.
We can take care of the flood waters, but once we're done with flood waters, we're not going to be able to use their systems whether or not until they service them.
Many of those families are going to have to rebuild those systems or are going to have to at least get them inspected to make sure they're operational again once that happens. It's just like anything else. The ground is shifted, the drain field shift, everything shifts with the flood. The other areas of concern dealing with, of course, the mosquito issues is a huge issue for us. There's a lot of concerns about that. And I want to make it real clear to everyone here, the mosquitoes are not going away anytime soon. This is going to be throughout the summer. This is not going to go away. We can spray every day, and if it rains the next day, guess what? It all washes away. We got to start over. The larviciding is the most effective thing, which is throwing the pellets in the standing water. But if the water is moving, the pellets don't work because it puts a sheen of insecticide or larvicide.
Do we have plenty of those pallets?
Pardon me?
Do you have plenty of those pallets?
Yes, we're ordering some more as well. I've been working with Mr. Geta and the budget office to coordinate all of that, but that's all working well, and that we're going the right direction with that. But I need the community to be patient. This is not going to go away. This is going to be a serious problem for a while. It really is.
No, you're right. We need for everybody to consider and be patient, because I know everybody's trying to do as much as we can, but it's just very hard, and then we got rain all week long, so.
The other thing is that, and Commissioner Palacios hit the nail on the head, we have a lot of families who are immigrant families, and in Mexico, it is very common and very customary that the local health goes into the homes and fumigates in the homes and puts insecticide and pesticide in the homes. In Mexico, that is done. It's not done in the U.S. And also from a legal perspective and a liability perspective, we need to be very cautious about that. Because in Mexico is very different than the United States and how they handle legal issues. So again, there's a lot of people in our community that are used to that because they came from that type of system. So, and then the last thing we need to look at is foodborne illnesses. We've had a lot of power outages and ongoing power outages throughout the county. A lot of folks are you know, the refrigerators go down, but they still eat the foods that are in the refrigerators that have gone bad. So we're seeing a spike in some bacterial infections and salmonella type illnesses that may be foodborne. I don't know if it's related to this, we don't know that, but we're monitoring those as well. So in a nutshell, that's my report, sir.
Steve, now that you've heard it, we need to make sure we clarify what authority we have to do any work on private property.
Judge, I think it depends on the work involved. If it's filling pumps or using water, I don't know.
What about the debris that Commissioner Palacios was
I
talking
think
about?
the debris is, to get back to question also, is the debris, keeping the water in, or is it just a fallen tree that's not doing anything? If it's just a fallen branch or fallen tree, but if the debris.
Well, something is trending on the, over a roof of a house or a tree or something like that. I don't think we got any of that, but in case something like that is.
Mainly it's the debris that is blocking, outfall of water. That probably justify, I think,
Let me ask you another question. So we have Siegel Road. We have a house. It's about 200 yards from the roadside, lower area. You got floodwaters all around the house. You need sandbags. Are we have the ability to bring in sandbags to their to develop the area from any more waters going into their home?
I think we can look at sandbags.
I just need to know, how about natural, building barriers with dirt, millings, caliche, to prevent more water from entering areas?
Again, it's on their property. I don't think the village knows that.
I just want to clarify because there's some common,
Steve,
you know,
we're gonna get some more rain, and I know I get calls from the commissioners because there's this belief that if I sign an order, that we're able to go into and help out these individual property owners, but I'm also concerned about whether or not we have that authority. I would like for you to lay out all of the circumstances that you believe may or could possibly exist that would allow us to go into private property to remove the water or to do whatever maybe we think may be needed to provide for the health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Okay, that way we can use that with all the county commissioner precincts.
Yeah, but also caution that there's another legal concern about going into private property and not knowing the private property, our employees being,
It's doing what?
our employees being injured in the process.
Well, I mean, they were covered by Tom, aren't they?
Well, no, I'm saying that I would feel like it's just,
Oh, no, I'm sure that Sand will be given they're asking, they're requesting that we get involved in help.
yeah, we just need the model to work. It's taken a lot of time just to help, just because we need to know how to respond. The other thing, the spot declaration, to resolve, I mean, we had an issue on Cabaya Lane, rural county area, private road, water's just pulling it, caused the car to go into a ditch, and then they couldn't get their kids out. So again, responding, who's the fiduciary on a private road.
we can get the property, that's sure.
Yeah, but you still got the floodwater, so she's operating a business on the other side, there's no access because of the floodwaters. So at the end of the day, someone has to respond, the water's not gonna go anywhere, so these are the.
Pumping that.
Yeah, we're just pumping it, but my point is, what is a procedure? Does a spot declaration need to be initiated so that I can go into that private water route? Or does this declaration clear me from doing that?
Well, I think the easiest answer is pump the water from the private.
It's 200 yards in.
Yes, there's some areas that literally you have to go into.
There's a lot of circumstances, Steve, that unless you're out there and you're seeing it,
And it's all going to do with facts.
yeah, but we need that system in place so that we can respond much faster. And that's what the taxpayers are waiting on, and they're thinking that we're delaying on purpose. And that's not the case. We need clearance to be able to get in there, and we want the authority to get in there.
And in the tone of Judge,
Make it as broad as you can and send it to me. That way when I get a request of the commissioners, I'll be able to fit it in.
if you look at this handout, this was provided from the state yesterday. 2007, last major rainfall in disaster area. Look at the significant weather impact. that we've had in our area throughout the state of Texas. May 15th of 15, look at the impact it had. Then look at May 20th, the impact, almost the same as May 7th of 2015. I mean, of 2007. Now go to the back page, the soil and moisture contents. We're way above our saturation. We're out of the drought situation in South Texas from the significant rains that we've had in the last month. So Judge, you're right. We're gonna get more rain, more impact, especially in the precinct 4 area that has been solidly impacted by the heavy rains. Our partners in Star and Zapata County are in the same boat.
Are there any?
Judge, real quick, I'd just like to also make, so it could be part of the record, is that we have a small percentage of homes that the best recommendation for those families is to evacuate their homes. It is not safe for them to be in those homes. Some of the families, for whatever reason, are not, but if they have no restroom facilities, no electricity facilities, none of these facilities, they need to meet with family or seek shelter. That really in the best interest, it's best that they evacuate. And the thing is, that's a tough call, but that's a family, and they make that decision.
And we have been informing through the media outlets for them to do that, Judge. Okay.
We have a hand up in the back of the audience. I don't know if we're going to take any questions, Judge, but I think someone wants to be heard. Yes, ma'am?
Can you come forward? Yes, come on over to the microphone so that we can get it on the record, man.
Mr. Palacios, thank you so much for what you're doing. We appreciate it. We've been underwater 2 months. Prior to the horrible rain, we have 2 little lakes on Rio Grande and Carroll, not more than 3 miles from here. Not more than 3 miles. The 2 lakes have crested. It's a dead end. And we did not have exit for about 3 days. Our home is not flooded per se, but all the other homes around it are. You know, and it's not 3 miles from here. Thank you again, but you know, it wasn't flooded when the rain came. I don't know what happened.
And I'll explain that topography. If you go every half mile that you go westbound, it's anywhere between a 10 to 15 feet difference. If you go all the way to McCook, it's 100 foot difference. So what's happening, and we flew it with DPS, and we appreciate DPS for assisting with and with the drones. If you look, every farmland everywhere around you is completely either underwater, have muddy soil, and all of that water just what it's doing is just cascading itself down. So that's why when we get a rainfall, as the days go, the water's rising. And it's been a horrible, like I said, it wasn't a failure on the system. It was a 100-year event, and we were just not prepared.
Okay, and my issue is we didn't have this much water when the Gulf came.
No, not at all. But we were in a drought back then. I mean, it was a different
And it
circumstance.
had been raining for a couple of weeks before the
Yeah,
hurricane.
it's again, 20 some odd inches is our systems aren't set up and designed to handle that. So what we're doing is we're putting the proper infrastructure. We're draining. You'll see the water's going down faster. We
Yes,
know.
on that about 4 inches.
Yeah, and we're going to continue going. I think we have a permanent solution for that, but we just need time. We're fighting with time right now to keep cutting out that
And
ditch.
we've been pretty patient, like I said,
Oh, no.
we've been underwater for 2 months.
You've been beyond patient. The other issue that we found, Judge, is we're using a lot of the trucks, the vacuum trucks, that turn up the entire roadway. So we reverted to just the 12-inch spots. It's doing what we could with the trucks. So. But we are on Jackson. If you see the system, it's
Yeah, we
moving water.
saw the pumps out there, you've got a bigger pump out there. But
What we're
thank
gonna
you.
do, just to let you know, the lake in Rio Grande Carrot Drive, we're gonna put another 12-inch road, we're gonna lake and bring all that levels all the way down. So there's at least capacity for the near future, in the next few weeks, if we do in fact get a rain. That's what it's gonna do. But we're looking forward to putting a permanent solution there.
Thank you.
We'll continue.
By the way, my name is San Juana Acosta, and we we live on Rio Grande Care Road, just off of McCall.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, any questions?
No, we're gonna, are we gonna vote on the,
Yes, we need to move on to 382.
Marty?
Judge Commissioners, on 3A1, are we gonna go on this continuance? The approval, you already,
Yes.
okay, Chip, is activate contract with Ashbrook Incorporated under the current mutual benefit and use agreement in the city of Kingsville. I was talking to the chief yesterday. I know that he has said throughout this event, and I believe there was a meeting held yesterday, that he feels that we are using all local assets to their maximum. And I don't know if, at this point, the court wants to activate that agreement.
Yes, we definitely think that especially in our precinct. I don't know the rest of the precinct, but I definitely think to do that in our area.
What is it that the contract provides for?
For the brush, all the brush.
Well, they have a laundry list of services that they can provide us. One of them would be water extraction services. Second one is debris removal. The water extraction services at this point does become an issue because there's a lot to water extraction, especially if you have brackish water, contaminated water. They will have to enlist subcontractors that would move that water to permitted areas.
Right.
It's not the same as possibly our local assets moving regular water and dumping it somewhere else. So if that is the case that is occurring, yes, you need someone in that type of contractual
And do you,
position.
if we approve it, we approve for the whole thing, or can we use just whatever we need?
No, you use, it's on an as-needed basis, whatever services are
Let me
required.
ask you, is there a time period, if we were to decide right now, do we have a time period? Okay, well, I don't think it would hurt to at least initiate the process, in the fact there is a dire need, and we don't have resources, then Mr. Solana.
There was a question asked yesterday through the county judge's office. Does activation of the contract in any way incur an initial fee? No. It is only on services used. Now, let me tell you, if indeed you are going to end up using this, we have an agreement already in place under Tetra Tech, which is the overall consultant that would assist the county in writing the scope of work we would need from Ashbrook, but it also would trigger any type of reimbursement efforts on the part of the county to try to reimburse this money. At this point, I don't know that we're in a position to be able to get there. So this is something the county needs to be very clear that we may be expending funds under the use of Ashbrook that may not be recoverable.
Well, Chief, I think that we need to get you involved as emergency management coordinator, to kind of be our coordinator to make a determination as to whether or not there is a need that will require us to spend those dollars that we may or may not have at that time.
I would like to do what Commissioner Palacios requested, that we enacted to have it there as a safeguard.
Approve it.
And should we need to tap into it without getting clearance from Mr. Guerra, and you will tap into it and budget. But to answer your question, Commissioner Brad, with the debris removal, if you allow us to work with you and your staff, we can get you our partners to bring brush trucks in to help you remove that debris. Like that, we won't tap into any contracts or vice
That's
versa.
fine, as long as we can get, matter of fact, this morning we had some people come in there and they, they're concerned that the brush piles have gotten too high and, school buses and cars can't get by and they're worried about an accident and, it's just gotten to that point already then.
But if you allow us,
Sure.
get Mr. Lozano or Oscar to get with us,
Sure.
we'll activate the team to help you with the
Of course, you know, but I would like, you know, I'm in agreement with Commissioner Palacios to approve this, in case we need to tap into it, we're ready with it, and we don't have to come back.
Or into the extreme.
Only, yes, only because at this point, you know, as everybody's been saying, we have had the 100-year event, we're super saturated, but the only caution that, and I'm sure that you all are very aware of this, in the event we do go into the hurricane season with a tropical storm, heaven forbid, or a hurricane, we have bitten the bullet the last couple of years, we've been very fortunate, and the Lord help us that we continue to be, then the Ashford services would certainly be something that we probably have no choice but to engage.
Right.
But I think that this partnership with all your local assets must be exhausted before we have to go into it, although it will be activated.
Yeah, no, I
And
agree.
who under what we're talking about, who will be that, individual or what department would make that call?
It would be probably.
I think it's a three-prong effect. He would be the lead,
Yeah,
Mr.
he probably would.
Dillon, and budget, because that is going to be the issue.
And with your blessing.
If you will certainly be consulted on any, I'm sure Mr. Saldana is going to be consulting you on the statuses. But I think that is the way to go from your expenditure aspect, is local assets need to be engaged to their fullest, which they have been. And I think it's been a very good, successful partnership.
I would like to make a motion on 382.
I'll second that.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 382 will be with all the restrictions that we discussed.
Right, exactly.
Judge, Commissioners, with that being said, then I'm going to ask Senator to make all the necessary arrangements with respect to funding if we activate or we utilize these services. I don't know how much you have right now as a contingency, but I think we have to prepare for our next court session to have, in case we do activate or do use these services, that we have an amendment to our general fund, because I do not believe that we would have within our contingency sufficient funds if we were to activate any of these services.
That's correct. We don't have a special funds right now that operate a contract such as the one with Land. However, what we would do is we would do an emergency transfer from a funded item
That's fine.
and then come back to court the following week and declare emergency amendment to the budget and request that we increase the budget via the fund balance at that time.
All right, as long as we know that it's as a result of.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I know I didn't say this before, but I definitely want to give commendation for utilizing all of our vehicles, our personnel. Chief, you've done a great job on giving us everything we've needed in the last few weeks. But I think this is very needed. We wanted clarification from legal so that we can help the resident, the taxpayer a lot. Well, I mean, we have the capacity to respond more so that we can, I believe our duty is for the preservation of their properties. That's where we derive all of our tax base, and I think we have a duty to respond. So I appreciate all the help, and I look forward for legals.
Commissioner, if I could just ask a question. We have been contacted by budget that there was a request from the
Yes.
precinct to purchase some equipment.
Yes.
I'm wondering, are we just exploring that at this point?
No.
Or is it something that you feel we need to proceed
Judge,
on?
it's imperative we get these
Okay,
two
so-
pumps in. Judge, in the past, we've never been hit as we have. We realized that the more effective way we can attack what we got is to acquire these two pumps. It's a similar pump system that the district has. It's a 12-inch pump with rubberized discharge lines with the couplings. We were able to, without using trucks, be able to move what 30 trucks would do, this one pump does. In anywhere, and we've seen every area that's been affected, we could utilize these pump systems to get the flood waters out much faster than hiring trucks along. So it's an expense that we're asking for now. Had we gotten a hurricane and everybody was affected, obviously drainage district would be using their systems and all of the other pumps would be full. And we have no access to these.
How much money?
Let me,
Each
it's
one-
about approximately $350,000.
Yeah.
How much?
350,000, and they also have trailers so that they can be moved. Let me put it in this context. I believe you're saying this investment
Yes.
would then also help us in keeping the Ashbrook services from having to be implemented.
Well, and not
To a
just,
certain point, to a certain
Well,
point.
third point, yeah.
and it becomes an asset to the county.
For future,
outright.
and like I said, we're so saturated that heaven forbid that the weather is not,
It's not over, it's not over yet.
do we what, Judge? Sorry.
Do we presently have any of this equipment that you don't?
We have one right now that we're trying to pull it to another area that got affected. Obviously, we don't want to leave this of us
But
there.
is that within your?
Do we have any
district or
more?
off board?
On the.
Yes.
No, we have, this is a drainage district. This pump belongs to the drainage district.
Commissioner, I think we got some pumps at Precinct
We
One
do,
also.
see, Judge, we have 6-inch pumps and we have other capacities of pumps, but they will not do what this pump will do. We're having to go upstream.
How big is this one?
This is a 12-inch
12
pump and we can literally take flood water a whole mile into our.
Commissioner,
And discharge.
if I could ask, if we were to immediately purchase one, would the drainage district interlocal help me use the second one?
Yes, and I'm okay with that. but-
If we go one, that would at least help him find money at a faster rate than two. Right now, it is being difficult for, he is looking for it, I
No,
know,
and
but I
that's-
think it would be a lot easier for budget.
Right.
What about, all these partners that are gonna be involved in helping us? Do they have any pumps like that?
And somebody that does the Pecado?
The city of McAllen has one.
Can you get in a mic?
The city of McAllen delivered a 12-inch pump this morning, and it's sitting at your yard.
Yeah, and what we're gonna do is we're having to put this pump, so you're gonna have to relay pump, so we're gonna have to put that pump where they're at, just to get it to where the other one's at, so we're relaying pumping right now.
12-inch?
Is it the McAllen pump, is that a 12-inch or?
Yes, sir, it's a 12-inch, and the city of Mission, and the city of Mission has an 8-inch. And then
Right.
Precinct 1 just told us that they have
So
4.
we just called Precinct One, we have another 12-inch pump over there.
Well, we need them.
Do you think that would be enough?
It would be enough for now.
The precinct one?
You want to deliver to your,
It'll be enough for now,
you want to deliver to your headquarters
but
or?
in the future, all assets are gonna go out, so it's one of the things that we should probably advocate to at least have another, but.
So we'll proceed with one pump as opposed to, okay.
And 300,000 without looking at the budget entirely.
No, I'm fine with that.
Good.
So we proceed with just the purchase of one pump?
Right now, let's-
And it'll be- or just wait?
Just wait until we bring all the way down. I saw an alarm come up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so I can mess with
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. My name is John Dimas. I'm a neighbor of Diacosis as well. I live on Rio Grande Care Road. And I was wondering, I'm hearing here you guys are gonna bring more pumps on. How soon are they gonna be brought on?
I'm going to send the check.
There's one on Jackson Road right now.
I know, I'm aware of it, but we need more.
Well, first of all, we need positive flow, so if we install another one, the first thing that we're doing is we're bringing the waters out from where it's at right now, we're gonna go another 100 yards in westbound, then we're gonna drop the other pump in. We have that pump right now. So that pump, as soon as that water sets in and we get the right dimension, which I'm asking legal for, because we have to dig out a ditch in land that doesn't belong to us. So we gotta go through all those legal parameters before we put that second pump.
Yes, and the reason that I'm asking, I'm inquiring about this is because like that was fortunately for myself and my family, we are not flooded. But we also own another parcel of property that has access to North Jackson Road and Rio Grande Care Road. And the reason I'm asking all this goes back to this fundamental question is, what are we gonna do? Should we get more rain? Because more rain is in the forecast for this weekend.
I'll assure you, we will continue pumping all the levels. You'll see, and you live out there, you'll see the water coming down right now. Once we install the second pump, of which we have at our shop right now, and we are able to get the right entry, it's gonna drop by even faster where we look at the retention pond, bring that level down until we get all levels down. We're gonna have a lot more capacity. Right now, we have none. But it's gonna get much better as we go through the hours and through the days.
Okay, now I have another question. What can the precinct do as far as trying to make aware the residents to north of the affected area that they can't trespass on my property? I mean, I've been threatened with bodily harm, my family's been threatened with bodily harm because they want to forcibly access that property of mine.
So they're diverting into your private property?
There's gates on it and everything, but I've had people threaten me that, you know, I better let them trespass or else.
Yeah, I'll contact the sheriff's office and the constable's office. I know that we have guys around the clock at the Jackson site, but I'll have them, put up some signage, make sure we have appropriate signage.
I mean, I do have signage and everything on there, and we are letting people go by there. I mean, we're not trying to take away access. If the people will just come and approach us,
Yes, sir.
we're not gonna say no.
Well, thank you for being
We're not gonna say
understanding.
no, but at the same time too, I have to protect myself and my family.
Well, like I said, in the hours and the days, we'll get a lot better, because once we get the retention down, there's not gonna be any, non-access to Rio Grande Care Drive, so we should get,
Is there anything else that us as residents, as neighbors could help you with as well? As far as setting up pumps, anything like that?
Actually, we're doing everything we can right now. I just need Mr. Crane to clear some questions, whether or not I'm able to put some pumps inside the property to bring it out to our right of way. We're gonna do everything we can do to get
If
you.
there's anything I can help you with, I'll be more than happy to oblige. I mean, I'm ex oil field, so, you know, I just, whatever it takes to get it done, day or night, we'll get it done.
Appreciate
And we're here to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments? Commissioners, any comments, questions?
No, everything good, just ask the public to please bear with us, and we're gonna take care of whatever we need to take care of, so.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.